The young adults entering the workforce today have been described as the recession generation. For them, there seems to be little guarantee of a fast track to wealth and success. But are there other things they're looking for in their careers? Well, let's welcome Dr. Ronald Beauchamp, director of the Niebuhr Center at Elmhurst College, which helps faith-motivated undergraduate students to find their vocational calling. We also welcome two Elmhurst College students. Virginia Kelly is a senior majoring in education, and Maureen Elliott is a junior studying clinical psychology and theology. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. Dr. Beauchamp, let's start with you. Let's talk a little bit about the Niebuhr Center and how it got started.
About 9 years ago, there was a proposal written by Dr. Nancy Lee, our founding director, along with other faculty, staff, and development officers, was submitted to the Lilly Endowment in Indianapolis. And this application or proposal was submitted to look at or try to figure out how we can inspire young adults to look at the field of ministry/service. And so with this proposal going through and being approved by the Lilly Endowment, we joined 87 other schools across this nation. There are only 3 schools in the state of Illinois, and we happen to be one of the 3, and we're very proud of it. So.
Wow. So what does it mean to have a faith-motivated career? I think most people would think of some sort of ministry field, but what does that mean to you?
Well, our students express their faith in a very unique way. They'll take jobs with education, they'll take jobs in music, they'll take jobs working in journalism. And they'll write for organizations such as Christianity Today, or they'll play music for the local church, sacred music, or they'll also take it and play jazz sometimes for maybe church-related or non-church-related purposes. So they're using what we see as their faith, taking their faith, along with their career option and pulling together something that they're called to do or very passionate about. Many of our students say, I really want to do this. My heart is tugging at me. I feel this gut-wrenching moment that's saying I've got to do this or I need to be in this arena. And so our job is to hear that, listen to them through our discernment meetings, and help a student figure out, okay, what are you called to do? How can I help you to get there? How do I help take that direction that you feel from your faith-related conversations at home, in your neighborhood, at the local church, and take that with your career options that you or maybe your parents have discussed for some years, and then tie the two together and hopefully set a path for them through the collegiate arena, and then hopefully onto a graduate or seminary.
How has your idea of what your calling is, has that changed for you, or what has your experience been like?
It's immensely changed for me. I started out as a clinical psychology major, thinking what is a great way to make money, have the American dream, and it was through a callings class, through Reverend Beauchamp, that I realized there's more to me than making money. I was created for a purpose, and to take the time to reflect and find what makes my heart beat and what gives me that energy and that passion, where what I'm doing, although it's work, seems effortless. And he helped me to find that, and therefore I started I double majored now in theology because I have a passion to help people. I have a passion to help build them up, and through Christianity as well, for me personally, but interfaith too, because the Niebuhr Center is very interfaith, and I think God is also the God of Islam, and God is also Judaism, and God is something so beyond our comprehension that it's all around. So the Niebuhr Center shifted my plan to help find my inner plan of what I think I was really created for and what I was meant to do. So. Yeah, I have a passion behind what I'm doing now, so.
That's great.
Thanks.
Virginia, how did you get involved in the center?
Well, I was originally just there as far as student working to afford school, but then I got involved with working there and seeing all the great people coming into the Niebuhr Center, like what they were doing as far as service related. So I got involved as far as helping with canned food drive, going out into the community, speaking out against violence and those type of things. And then I had the opportunity to sit down with Rev and be like, what exactly do I want to do as far as the Niebuhr Center goes, as far as my calling in life, and dug a little deeper as far as teaching what can I do with the students as far as that's outside of just teaching them? What can I do in the school? So I started an internship and working within the schools to rebuild the library, do something as far as that, bring more knowledge to them, dedicate my time and energy into motivating them to read.
Now, you came onto the show about 5 years ago onto Different Drummers. How have you seen students change or their callings change? Have you seen any changes happen over the past 5 years?
In the last 5 years, we've discovered, even on campus, that the students that have come to us are more engaged in world issues, global issues. They're interested in social justice. They want to make sure that their society is a better society. I don't want to sound like they think we've messed up the world, those of us who are maybe older than them, but they'd like a better shot at this world. And they try to do it through service. They're concerned about ecology. They're concerned about being green. They're concerned about the rights of others, how we treat one another. And they're literally saying, when I was in high school, I was on a mission trip, or I went out and did some things to help build homes. So they're concerned about habitat for humanity type issues. They're concerned about making sure that others around them are aware of how to live a better life, a better quality life. And they're not so materialistic in nature. At one point, we used to think that students were about entitlement, and they wanted to try to get in there and just say, I want this because it's due me, and I want to make a lot of money. Well, I'm not seeing that. Students are coming to us now saying, there's an issue out here. I want to address that issue. How do I do that? What career option allows me to address that issue? Be it educational systems which are challenged or maybe immoral sometimes, or maybe in the area of psychology. How do we counsel people through life's changes when life doesn't provide all the best changes for you? So we're seeing students questioning, delving more, and coming to us up front in their freshman and sophomore years, saying these are the concerns I'd like to address. It used to be that you'd have to prod them 2 or 3 years, and by junior, senior year, now they have an idea. Oh, you mean I could do that? I could help someone else? It's changed. We're also noticing more students are saying that they would like to engage in other activities such as Peace Corps, AmeriCorps, Teach for America. They're also interested in doing, I have a student who's doing a year in Jesuit Volunteer Corps. She's not Catholic. She's a United Church of Christ individual. And she's very excited about giving back to society. So she was given 2 locations. The one that the organization selected for her is in Hollywood. So she's in Hollywood helping the homeless. While there, she's been robbed, she's been mistreated, she's experiencing some of the difficulties of life. She's a middle-class individual coming out of Michigan, and she's in Hollywood experiencing this challenge. But she said she would not change anything for her journey. That is worth listening to and hearing. She calls me, emails me all the time. Hey, Rev, what's up? Let me tell you what we're doing out here. How are you guys doing there? Still concerned about others, still interested in making sure that others are moving forward.
Maureen, what has been one of the most powerful lessons you've learned through the center?
The most powerful lesson I learned was when they sent me to India for an international internship. And I think my perspective was, I have 2 daughters, and I'm technically considered poverty level financially. So I looked at it in the perspective of, I'm the poor, I'm poverty. When I went to India, I really had my eyes open to an experience of women and children and sleeping in garbage, sleeping in the median in the middle of a highway. It opened my eyes to life is so much more bigger than things and money. It's about people and relationships and being there for one another, and it's about the common good. And if we all work together, we can bring about, there's enough for everyone. And so that was, I think, the biggest gift that I know will follow me, and I will pass it on to my children, hopefully. So,
Virginia, what about you? What's been one of the biggest lessons you've learned from all of this?
In the fall, we did Partners for Peace with the Niebuhr Center, and we went out into the community, invited people to come in, and we had actually a sit-down dinner with them. So we prepared food for them, and we sat down. And the conversations that I had with them was motivating and different, to hear their life story, to listen to them, to see how did they come to be where they at, opposed to where we are, and we're putting ourselves up above them when they're so much like us and they came from the same places we came from. So it's kind of difficult to look at something like that and reevaluate myself and my goals in life.
Dr. Beauchamp, Maureen, Virginia, thank you so much for sharing your stories with us and your callings. I'm Leanne Noland for Different Drummers and the Greater Chicago Broadcast Ministries. Keep the faith.